Why motivation feels harder than it used to. Many people are waiting for motivation to come back. They remember a time when starting things felt easier, when effort seemed to have arrived on its own, when momentum carried them forward, and now they wait. They tell themselves, I will begin when I feel motivated again. But weeks pass, sometimes months, and motivation doesn't return in the way they expect. Today, I want to talk about why that happens and why waiting for motivation is often the wrong place to look. The myth of motivation as fuel. We often imagine motivation as fuel, something that appears first and then allows action to follow. But for most adults, motivation doesn't work that way anymore. In complex, demanding lives, motivation is no longer a starting signal. It's often only a byproduct, a response to clarity, to safety, to energy that already hasn't been spent elsewhere. When life is full, emotionally, mentally, physically, motivation does not announce itself, it waits. Why motivation fades under pressure? Motivation struggles in environments of constant pressure. When the mind is already managing unfinished responsibilities, ongoing uncertainty, background stress, pain, limitation, or reduced capacity, there is still only little energy left for desire. So the mind becomes conservative. It avoids starting things that might cost more than it can afford. From the outside, this looks like procrastination. From the inside, it feels like hesitation mixed with fatigue. This is not a lack of will, it is a protective response. Why discipline advice often fails here. When motivation fails, people often told to replace it with discipline. But discipline built on self pressure rarely lasts because it ignores a simple truth. You cannot demand energy from a system that is already depleted. What does help is reducing friction, making beginnings smaller, clearer, less costly. Motivation doesn't return through force, it returns when the mind senses this is manageable, a quieter way forward. Instead of asking, how do I get my motivation back? Try asking, what would make the starting feels less heavy? Sometimes the answer is doing less, narrowing focus, finishing something small, allowing imperfect effort. Motivation that often appears after movement, not before it. And when it does, it feels different than it used to. It feels quieter, less dramatic, but more reliable. If motivation feels harder than it used to, it doesn't mean you have lost something essential. It means your life has changed. Your mind is more aware, more cautious, more burdened, and more intelligent for it. In the next reflections, we will talk about rest, discipline, and living well within limits without turning life into a constant self improvement project. This has been plain wisdom, simple ideas, lasting clarity. See you soon.